Hi, this is Phil Necro. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
This is Mark the Banks. I'm on deck with Tyler Redmond.
Welcome into On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with everything going on in Braves country. And of course, you can follow me on social media, Tyler Redmond at BubblegumJesus on Twitter and Instagram. So last night it was Ian Anderson versus Ryan Weber, the Braves versus the Red Sox at Fenway Park. And if you remember, the Braves made a really big deal about Ian Anderson facing the Yankees in his first start because he is a Red Sox fan. So last night he took on his favorite team growing up. And before he could really get started, Marcell Ozuna puts 2 runs on the board with a homer over the Green Monster, 401-foot shot. And I'm sure that gave Ian Anderson some confidence on the mound early on in only his second start of the season. He's beginning to look like a veteran already. In total last night, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits given up, 2 earned runs given up, 1 walk, and he got 8 strikeouts. So he wasn't as proficient as he was in his first start, but nonetheless, he had a really good night. You give me 6 innings of 2-run ball and a chance to win the game, I'm good. That's all we really need on the Atlanta Braves. So great to see him performing so well so early on in his MLB career. The Braves really needed that shot in the arm, and they certainly got it with Ian Anderson. But as well as Ian Anderson pitched, he was not the highlight last night. I mentioned Marcell Ozuna's first inning homer earlier in the video, and that could be enough, but he hit 2 more than that. Yes, he hit 3 homers last night, 1 in the 7th inning and 1 in the 8th. And that one in the 8th inning, StatCast called it at 437 feet. I think it was longer, along with Chip Carey and Jeff Rancour. I think it was longer than that. It was an absolute blast over the batter's eye in dead center of Fenway Park. I would like to take another look at that. I would like to take a tape measure up there myself and measure that one. But in total, Ozuna was 3 for 5 last night. He scored 3 times and he drove in 6 runs. Yes, he had 6 RBIs last night alone. So it's safe to say he likes that DH spot, which is really good to see. Obviously, his defense isn't quite there, but we really like him in the lineup. And last night was a special night for him. He did get his 1,000th hit last night, so hopefully he'll be around for some more of those. But there are some other notes of interest. Austin Riley still has a really hot bat, barely missing a home run in the 6th inning, but he did knock in a couple runs. Dansby knocked in a run. Freeman knocked in a run. And the offense all the way around is just really looking good, especially down 2 major players. More on that later. But the Braves took the series early against the Red Sox last night. Of course, they're 2 up on the Red Sox right now. Maybe they can get a sweep tonight. That game is at 7:30 p.m., so make sure you give that a watch. And Robbie Erlin will be taking the mound versus Mike Kickham, so make sure to check it out. But we do have some other news. You know this as well as I do. Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuña have not been in the lineup for a good bit of time, especially Ozzie Albies. You heard last night Acuña will likely be back in the lineup sometime around Friday, maybe a couple days after. What you might not have heard is Ozzie Albies is returning to the alternative training site later this week to get geared up for a return. Yes, that's right. So probably not too long before we see Ozzie Albies back in the lineup. So Lord knows that the lineup is going to be really beefed up when those guys return. Hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later because the offense is winning in spite of the pitching right now. And you get Acuña back, you get Ozzie Albies back in that lineup, who knows what happens. And you take away some of the weak spots in the lineup when you bring those 2 guys back. Here's what I mean. So this is the lineup from last night, okay? Dansby Swanson, Freddie Freeman, Marcell Ozuna, Nick Markakis, d'Arnaud, sometimes Flowers, Austin Riley, Adam Duvall, Johan Camargo, and Ender Inciarte. Now this is the lineup that we've become accustomed to with Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuña gone. You throw these 2 guys back in there, take a look at it. This is what it would look like typically if those 2 guys were back in the lineup. This is more along the lines of what the Braves thought the lineup was going to look like all year. Okay? This is their batting averages with the lineup last night. Okay? Now look at the bottom 2 guys down there, Johan Camargo and Ender Inciarte. I've heard all of what you guys have said about Johan Camargo and Ender Inciarte, and of course we like those players, but I don't like them starting every day. Now look at the lineup when you throw the other 2 guys back in there. Now, Ozzie Albies' numbers are a little bit deflated this year. 44 at-bats so far in 2020, not that many, and a good bit of those he wasn't 100%. So maybe a more fair number would be his 2019 average, which was 295. Okay? So that's pending, of course, him coming back and being red hot when he gets back. So I don't see the Braves taking out Austin Riley right now. He's swinging one of the hottest bats on the team. So that doesn't really leave anywhere for Johan Camargo to go once Ozzy Albies returns, right? So I think there's nowhere for him to go other than the bench. And with Ender Inciarte, I don't see them sitting Nick Markakis or Adam Duvall to put in Ender Inciarte when Adam Duvall and Nick Markakis are just fine in the outfield, plus they have really good bats in the lineup. I just don't see that happening. And we're past the trade deadline, so they're not going to get traded this year. They're not going anywhere. But I think this is a sign of things to come with those two guys and with anybody else similar to their situation. The Braves have really beefed up their lineup, and they're playing guys that are hitting the ball, period. They're not waiting on you to fix yourself anymore. They can't really afford to with the current status of the starting pitching. And I think that is a very good sign of things to come. And I think I enjoy competition internally on a team. And I think the Braves do too. I think that's what makes the best results happen for the Braves. And I just don't see a spot for those two guys to go much longer. And I've said that for a long time. This is not anything new. Inevitably, Johan Camargo and Ender Inciarte's time with the Braves is going to come with an end. And when you're not performing up to what everybody else is performing, it's going to be sooner rather than later. So the Braves are really beefing up in a couple of days when they get Ronald Acuña back, and of course whenever they get Ozzy Albies back. And I'm ready for it. I'm sure you are too. The Braves are 21-14, and based on their schedule coming up, I only see them doing better than they did the first half. The Braves tonight take on the Red Sox, 7:30 p.m. at Fenway Park. It will be Robbie Erlin taking on Mike Kickham of the Red Sox. Hopefully they'll be able to get a sweep over the struggling Red Sox and continue their 2020 success. But to follow that, you can follow me here, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with everything going on in Braves country. And of course, I'll have a recap of tonight's game tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on deck.